Hello, guys, and welcome back to Completely Biased. It's the name we're running with. I am Sean. Next to me is Trevor, across the way from this lovely poker table we have.
Yeah.
How you doing, Trevor?
Doing pretty good. Cubs play tonight at home. Still in the playoffs somehow. Not really sure how after we got blown out twice in LA, but
It's all right. So my Diamondbacks are already, they've been out. They've been out for a long time to the same culprit. So.
well, you can stop talking about them because they're not going to be relevant for another 10 years at least. So
How dare you? How dare you? All right. So today we're giving our bold predictions for the season. Tonight is the season debut for the league. We've got two really good games on our hands with the Warriors and Spurs and
Warriors and Rockets.
Warriors and Rockets.
Yes.
Ooh, whoops. Warriors and Rockets and Cavaliers and Celtics. So what are you looking forward for this opening night, and what are you looking forward to in the season? What are your big what big things are you looking forward to this season? What's going to excite you?
Well, tonight, obviously, Kyrie versus LeBron is going to be exciting. I'm sure we can all get on board with that. I'm guessing it's the first time they've seen each other since Kyrie demanded a trade, so that'll be good. Obviously, we're going to see what the Rockets look like with Chris Paul and James Harden both playing under Mike D'Antoni. I think a lot of people still have questions on how that is going to work. I think it'll be fine because I don't think James Harden is that selfish, but those are the two big things for tonight that I think we are really intrigued to see as an NBA fan base in general.
Yeah, and tonight, we've got four of the top. These might be the top four teams in the league.
Probably.
Yeah. If not, maybe Boston may not be top four team, but they'll be at least top two team in the East.
Yeah. Other than the Spurs and Thunder, I don't know. They're two of the top six or four of the top six.
So I mean,
easy.
Starting off with a big bang, and like you said, with the Boston Celtics, it's going to be really, really exciting to see Kyrie Irving go up against LeBron. Is there any animosity there? Yes, there is.
There is lots.
don't kid yourself. But maybe that'll be a good rivalry now, since because we don't really have that many good rivalries in the league.
We need something in the Eastern Conference to make it look
because we have Cleveland and Warriors, and last year we had Warriors and Oklahoma City, but that was kind of like a one-sided rivalry. They didn't like each other, but the Warriors always spanked them.
Well. Yes, and the fact that the Rockets killed the Thunder, the Spurs killed the Rockets, and the Warriors killed the Spurs really just kind of made that irrelevant.
But in the East, maybe like Boston and Cleveland can be a good rivalry. Last year we had Boston and Washington, but the whole Boston team is gone. But
I just want to see a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference somewhere. Like, I'll take it anywhere.
I think we might get it this year. I mean, we both said our things about Boston this year where I think they're going to stumble out of the gate, and I think for sure Cleveland probably wins tonight. They just have more continuity. But Boston's a brand new team, and it's unfair to say, oh, they're just going to run tables and stuff like that. But come playoff time, they've hopefully got everything together, and we'll see some exciting series. Maybe even Boston wins. Doubt it.
Brad Stevens will get them ready.
Doubt it, but maybe we'll see that. What in this season are you looking forward to? Because I know... So... I want to ask you this. What's your opinion on, because a lot of people are already saying, and it's like even us are already saying, it's going to be Warriors and Cavaliers in the finals. Is that bad for the league? Or is it, because I actually because no one rested on, Boston's kind of waiting, but they still made a lot of moves to get themselves ready. And everyone in the West made these power plays to try to catch up with the Warriors. No one's resting on let's wait for the Warriors to die out.
Right.
So I think it's actually been pretty, this offseason was awesome.
The offseason was great. Obviously, we see a lot of star movement. We're going to see a lot of super teams coming up, which is going to make it fun. I think it kind of gives everybody a challenge to try to knock off the Warriors and the Cavs. I don't think it's going to happen. So I don't want to say it's bad for the league, but that's going to be kind of hard because once we get into May and June, we have an idea of what's going to happen. We have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. Now, if something like an injury comes up or maybe we can get a surprise, it would be one of the greatest upsets in NBA history. So we're setting ourselves up for something that could be greater.
But even if it is Warriors-Cavs for the fourth time in a row, Is that bad? Is that actually bad? Because last year's finals was really, really exciting. Like, every single game was great.
Yes, every game was great.
And that's just good basketball. I mean, I just want to see good basketball.
Right, and I'm totally... I mean, we're going to get the best basketball late in the year, which is really good for the NBA. The only problem is it kind of makes the regular season feel a little irrelevant.
It did make, like, the first few rounds of the playoffs didn't have... And you could see it in the ratings and stuff. The first few rounds of the playoffs didn't have that same thing. But when we got to the finals, the ratings were crazy for the finals. And all of the games were excellent games. Like,
absolutely.
And it was a lot... the Warriors won 4-1. But it was actually a lot closer than a lot of people give it credit for. And I think the Cavaliers closed the gap even more this year with the Warriors.
Yeah, this season's NBA Finals, given that it is probably going to be Warriors-Cavs, is not going to be 5 games and over. It's not. It's going to at least 6, probably 7.
Even if it was 5 games, you got to look at the 5 games, because if Kevin Durant didn't hit that 3 in Game 3, we're looking at a completely different series.
Yeah, we'll see, but we're rooting for good basketball. The one thing I am really excited about, though, is we're going to see a lot of development in young, unknown stars.
Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting... And it's interesting. I can't ever remember, and I haven't been a basketball fan as long as Trevor, but I can't ever remember going to a season with this many bright young stars where you always, like... There's probably one of 5 or 6 people that can win Rookie of the Year.
Right.
You could talk yourself into one of 5. There's obviously they're your favorites, but you can talk yourself into like 6, 7 guys winning Rookie of the Year.
Well, think of these like small markets that have stars now. I mean, Denver's got a star, Milwaukee's got a star, Memphis has a star, and they're going to be showcased because they're not part of super teams, so we're going to see how good these guys really are. I'm really excited about that. Obviously, LA is a bigger market, but they've got Lonzo and Brandon Ingram, so that'll be.
I think every night you're going to have, even though might not be like the best competition in some of these games. I think every night people will look forward to seeing, if you have the NBA League Pass, which we do.
Right.
I think you'll look forward to seeing fun basketball.
It's going to be a lot
any
of fun.
given night. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm excited for.
Because, like you said, there's like even with not even the rookies, but you've got the Joker in Denver, who's like super exciting to watch. You've got the New York Knicks with like
Porzingis.
What's going to happen there?
Right.
They've got one of my favorite players of all time, and shouldn't be one of my favorites of all time, Michael Beasley. But
he's going to start this year.
He's Trevor. He's using 11% of his brain. He's using 11% of his brain this year. He's unlocked it.
Oh my goodness!
Did you see that?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, no. He was trying. He was in a TV interview. Just a quick side note. So if you haven't seen this TV interview, go watch it for a good laugh. So Beasley's in this TV interview with this reporter, and he's trying to explain to her. He's like, most people only use 10% of their brain. So who was the guy with 11% of their brain saying you can only use 10%? And then,
oh my goodness!
And then I bought into the Michael Beasley 11% of his brain. He's like, this year I'm using 11% of my brain.
I know we're going to do bold predictions today, and this is not on my list, but I think Michael Beasley might average 20 points a game this year.
I mean, he's done it before in his career. It's not Michael Beasley. Again, this we're taking a Michael Beasley tangent, but Michael Beasley is a very, very talented basketball player. Maybe not as talented as he thinks he is, because he thinks he's got the talent of LeBron.
He thinks he's a top 10 player in the NBA.
But he is a very, very talented basketball player. And he's averaged 20, like, if you don't believe me, go look it up. When he was in Minnesota, he averaged 20 points per game.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't win that many games, but he averaged 20 points a game.
I think he averaged 16 or 17 in Miami as well, too, didn't he?
I mean, he's not a bad basketball player. He's always had these things come up where, he's just a knucklehead, but...
That's a good word.
But this year, he's using 11% of his brain. It's not going to happen.
Oh, it's over. 30 points per game, Michael Beasley.
All right. But yeah, again, a lot of exciting basketball, I think, this year. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. It's just not even the top teams. Just I want to see the Joker. I want to see the Suns, Devin Booker. He might go off for
I forgot
70
about Devin
again.
Booker. Didn't even mention him.
It might be the ugliest 70 points you've ever seen in your life, but it'll still be 70. But, anyways, moving on from that, we're both excited for the season. We've got some bold predictions for this season. Trevor, hit me with your first bold prediction.
Okay. My first bold prediction, it's not extremely bold, but I'm going to say all three happen to make it bold. I'm going to say Eric Bledsoe, DeMarcus Cousins, and DeAndre Jordan are all traded by the trade deadline.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that because one of my bold predictions was DeMarcus being traded.
Okay.
I didn't include the other two because I think I didn't really think of DeAndre Jordan, but I think Eric Bledsoe is kind of that's not really a bold prediction. That's just I think it's going to happen.
I feel like they're not bold predictions separately, so I'm going to say all three get dealt by the trade deadline.
Like I said, I'm with you on DeMarcus getting traded because again, I'll go with that is one of my bold predictions that I have written down, and I think I wanted to be even more bold and say Anthony Davis gets traded. Because I think that's
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think they will, but I think they should.
They absolutely should. 100%.
They could get back a really decent team.
They can get 4 players and probably 2 first-round draft picks for Anthony Davis.
And guess what? Anthony Davis is going to leave you anyways. So
yeah,
look at Denver. Look at Denver after they dealt Carmelo. They were better than Knicks.
Because they ended up getting Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton. They were able to get Andre Iguodala, and they were a playoff team.
They'll free up a lot of money, and I think they should do that. But DeMarcus Cousins, what's the DeAndre? Why do you think DeAndre gets traded? I don't think there's any chance of that happening.
I do not think that he's going to be nearly as good as he was with Chris Paul. He's got Milos. I know he has Teodosic. I understand that he has a guy that can throw him the ball, but I do not think that he is going to be as successful without Chris Paul. I just don't. I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think he'll be as successful? Because, he's not... When I'm looking at DeAndre Jordan, I know he gets a lot of lobs and stuff, and it helps him get 12 points per night. But I'm thinking he's still going to be a good defender.
Yeah, he will be. But think about his offensive game here for a second. When he's playing with Chris Paul, when he's playing with J.J. Redick, when he's playing with Blake Griffin, he's literally the 4th offensive option on the field at all times, basically. Yeah. And when Redick came out, it was Jamal Crawford. So he's always going to be the 4th offensive option. He's not anymore.
I think he still is.
He's third. He's probably third. And you already know Danilo Gallinari is going to miss at least 10 to 15 games. So he's probably going to be second for most of the season.
But Blake Griffin is also a really good passer. So, think of a Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan pick and roll.
It would look cool. I don't think it's going to be very successful.
We've already been over this in our over-unders. I'm over on the Clippers. I think they'll actually be a pretty good team and a playoff team right in the middle of the pack in the West. I like whenever Chris Paul was out, I liked seeing Blake Griffin run the show. I thought they were really good like that.
It's fun to watch.
And now they've finally got a scoring, an actual option at small forward. It's funny the year that Chris Paul leaves, they actually finally get the option that they wanted for so long. But
I think, I guess my prediction with DeAndre Jordan is I think they're going to be floating around 500, probably just a little bit under. Somebody is going to need a rim protector. They're going to overpay for him. They're going to load up on draft picks, load up on young talent, trade DeAndre Jordan, and move that way.
I think Doc getting fired is way more likely than DeAndre Jordan getting.
Well, that's why it's bold predictions.
I know. I understand, but okay. So my first bold prediction was DeMarcus Cousins. We already kind of discussed that, so I'll move on from that. Branching off that, though, Sacramento will win more games than New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, probably. I can honestly see that.
Yeah. So that's my bold prediction. That's what's going to lead to the Cousins trade and maybe them thinking about the smart decision Anthony Davis trade. But with Sacramento, I just see, they were right there with the Phoenix Suns, I think, when the over-unders. They were both 28.5 wins.
They were low. They were way down there.
But Sacramento, I see winning about 35 to 37 games this year just because they're not a good team by any standards. But they have veterans now, and their rookies are rookies who want to win and want to prove. All the rookies on their team have chips on their shoulders. Buddy Hield, I think, is going to take a big step up this year. I'm a pretty big Buddy Hield believer. So I think Sacramento probably wins 35 games, and I think New Orleans wins 31. I'm not in on the New Orleans.
You're really low on New Orleans.
I'm really low on New Orleans. I want it to work, but I don't see it working with those two. And the problem with New Orleans is if that's all they have. Is
Well,
DeMarcus?
yeah, that's the thing. It's not going to work with New Orleans because they're